Hello, ladies. First call of 2025. I'm so excited. If you're able to, I would love for some of you ladies to take yourself off of your hiddenness or off of mute if you are comfortable. Join the conversation. And that's what this is going to be. So we are now 9 days into 2025. And this is a really good time once all the holiday craziness has settled and the initial motivation of, oh my God, January 1st, I'm so excited, probably worn off a little bit now. So genuinely reflecting upon 2024 as a year, including the holiday period where some of my clients did really, really well. And some of my clients were better than they were the previous year. And some of my clients, this was the first year where they learned a lot of lessons going into this upcoming year. And Deb, I'm sure you had similar.
Yes, almost identical, Lexi. I took a different approach with my clients this year and said, as much as you want to continue to progress, you're not going to. Like you're just not going to over the holidays. So that's not the expectation. The expectation is to, hopefully maintain or minimize, you know, catastrophe. And I actually had some clients ask if I could up their macros by quite a bit. And I just said, no, we're not going to up them. You're just going to, either not track and just accept it, but don't look at this as a time when you have to, you know, be perfect. And I found that my clients did much better this year, much better, I think, by giving them that permission. Now, I don't have anybody that has really set any kind of New Year's resolutions or anything that they've let me know about. But my challengers, I have 11 challengers. So they're, I would look at that as being setting a big goal.
Yeah. And there are some women who have decided, some point this year, I want to do a photo shoot, or I want to step on a fitness competition stage, or I'm not in this 60-day challenge, but I want to do another one. So there are goals on the horizon, which is always great to know what direction do you want to head in. But whether you have a concrete accomplishment or not, the foundational process for everyone in Lady the F Up is the same. You feel yourself well, focus on protein, focus on fiber, focus on resistance training and building muscle. And then everything else is kind of a secondary bonus. Or to get those results, you still have to focus on those process driven actions.
Yeah. And I guess I should clarify that when I said nobody's got any New Year's resolutions, it's because nobody has said to me, okay, this is what I want to do. But as you're saying, like photo shoot, I've got somebody that is doing a major body transformation contest. Nobody wants to step on stage with me this year or get them ready to go to Hammer Fitness. But a lot of women that want to finally stop the back and forth. And, if there's one thing I keep telling them, like, you're at an age now, especially if you're over 40, you need that protein more than the 20-year-old. You need the weight training and to be strong more than the 30-year-old. Like, as you get older, you need to prioritize this even more because you just don't recover as well if you were to get sick or you were to have a fall. And I don't mean to be the voice of doom, but if your goals aren't just it's okay if your goals are strictly, you know, aesthetics, but in trying to achieve that aesthetic, you really do have to prioritize taking care of your health with it. So I've been very happy that a lot of my clients have said like, okay, enough is enough. Like I just want to, you know, stop this madness kind of thing.
Yeah. I was having a conversation with someone, I think last week at some point, where she's finally starting to feel like she is consistent in the process. And we saw that through the holidays for her. Things didn't go to plan. She was hosting multiple dinners, but she still made really good decisions. She wasn't able to get to the gym a lot of the times, but we talked about exercise snacks. So like while the food is prepping and you're waiting for stuff and you're waiting to start, do like 20 body weight squats. And she implemented that so that the transition once the holidays were over into, okay, we're going back to regular life where there's no more social obligations, was a lot easier. And it was something that she craved instead of something that she dreaded because it was some form of punishment because of the actions leading up to it. And when that mindset switch happens, like that's something that you and I can shout from the rooftops, but it does have to come internally from them being like, I got it. And I understand the why. And this is something that I want to continue, because if you do all of the work and you get the results and then you're like, okay, I'm going to go off on my own. And then you don't continue with those habitual things because they aren't ingrained in you and something that you crave and you look forward to, then those actions that got you there, those are the things that keep the results too. And if you don't continue with those actions, you're just going to end up right back where you were, frustrated that it didn't work again.
Yeah, it's so true. I had a lot of clients over the holidays and in through the new year sick with pneumonia. Like pneumonia is off the charts this year. The amount of people that are being diagnosed with it, and they're just saying to me, like, I've been dragging my butt. I took two calls with two women late last week that wanted to start with me, and one called me and said, I have to go for a chest x-ray. Can we delay it till the end of the month or February? And I was like, of course, like you're not going to start when you have pneumonia. But what I was really proud about was that they kept in, I said, I know you're really sick, but I need you to stay in touch with me. We need to keep that connection, because it wasn't that I thought that they were going to eat, you know, pardon my language, like assholes. It was that I was worried that they would feel so outside of the process. Even, some had worked with me for 6 months, some has only been working with me for like 12 weeks. That by checking in with me, if not daily, a couple times a week, at least when they were starting to feel better, what do you think of me going for a walk? Yes, if you feel better, just go for a walk for 5 minutes, go around your block, do whatever. So I was really impressed with them for that.
Yeah.
I know if
And
I'm sick, I'd be like, goodbye.
yeah, making sure that they're not getting back into training too soon either, because there's a lot of hardworking
Oh,
ladies out there that are like, I feel better than I did. I'm gonna go do my leg workout and hit. And it's like, whoa, 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 you haven't been eating. Let's ease back into it. Try a 30-minute walk. Are you out of breath? But that's something that we covered way back in September of last year. So if
yeah.
anyone here wants the replay, feel free to message any of us and we can send that your way. So Deb, I know at the end of December, you put out the Lady the FF podcast, which you're now hosting, and you're doing such a good job at it.
Thank you.
The podcast that you put out was on New Year's resolutions, and you talked about the history of New Year's resolutions, which like, I had no idea. I learned about stuff there too, and how it dates way, way, way back, and how for so long humans have not met said resolutions.
Yeah, it's true. Like the hundreds and hundreds of years ago. And it's because the way they made it, they didn't do SMART goals. Like we make jokes about SMART goals, like, oh yeah, SMART goals, make sure that they're measurable, achievable, realistic. But it's true. Like if you just say, I want to lose weight or I want to eat healthy, it's so general, it's so broad termed, you're not going to do it. So in my podcast, I talked about, or I shouldn't say mine. I hate that I say that. I'm sorry.
But it
On
is
the
yours.
lady,
Own
well,
it.
I'm the host. Yeah, but I don't want it to make it sound like it's all things Deborah, because I really, really try. If you haven't listened, guys, and you might not know me, or you might know me and you might think like, yeah, she's not really one of my favorite coaches. I don't make it all about me at all. Like you'll learn very little about me. It's more to promote our community. And I just did an interview with Rima, so you might enjoy that one. But anyways, it was things like I'm going to return some farm equipment to my neighbor by a certain, they never gave a certain date, and they never did it. Like, it just historically, we don't follow through unless we have things recorded and measurable and making sure that they're achievable. It's just human nature. I think the stats are, by this, um, most people fall off by January 18th, by 18 days.
Halfway there. How's everyone
Yep.
doing? Everyone here, I think, is doing great, just looking at the names. And if you're with Lady the F Up, you should be doing all right. And if not, please reach out to your coach so we can change that, because we're here to help. Yeah, the thing with New Year's resolutions is like you pick one thing and it's specific. Most of the time, it's like, okay, I want to lose 10 pounds or 20 pounds, but it's not specific enough. But it's like, it's a one thing of, if I achieve this, I will be happy. Not necessarily the case. It really is about evolving who you are as a human being. And the calendar year, when we go from 2024 to 2025, I do like having a chance to pause and reflect upon the year. What did you accomplish? What did you learn? And ladies, if you have access to a pen and paper right now, I would highly recommend that you get it, especially if you haven't done any sort of reflection, because part of this call is going to be us just asking questions. They're not going to be very specific. You don't have to share. We want to encourage sharing, but asking questions about 2024 and who you want to be in 2025. Not what you want to accomplish specifically, but what worked in the past? What did you do last year that you were like, that, I want to do more of that? Or what can you reflect upon and be like, maybe not. And if you haven't taken the time to reflect, you're probably stuck in the exact same habit loops that you have been for however long. Just bringing awareness to that can start to shift slowly. Behavior change is a slow thing, especially if you've been doing this for decades and decades. Like, if we zoom out and you've done it for this long and you're like, I'm starting to instigate change, that awareness is going to take quite some time to build the change. But if you don't start, it is never going to happen. So I'm going to share a couple of questions with you guys. And I'm also going to share my own reflection, because I sat down and I did like a full journal write out of these questions because I really, really like them. So question number one, can you see the questions? Hold on, where'd it go? Share.
You had it.
Okay. Question number one is, what am I most proud of accomplishing in 2024? And why does it matter to me? So if you look back at the entire year from January to December, what are you proud of? And it doesn't have to be an accomplishment like I did a 60-day challenge. It doesn't have to be an outcome like that. Accomplishing could be, I survived the year. Why does that matter to you, right? If I look at stuff, I wrote down all of my accomplishments. And in January of 2024, I was on Breakfast Television to promote the CN Tower Climb. I got inducted into my hometown sports hall of fame for my trampoline career, which I did not have on my bingo card. That came up as a really big surprise. I started to take aerial silk classes, and I learned how to snowboard. All of those things are accomplishments, but the one that I am most proud of is diving into my mental health and working with professionals to better understand how my system operates and why the patterns that stuck with me for 3 decades and the way I felt, why all of that connected. So I am most proud, not of those big external accomplishments that everyone's like, rah, rah, good job. These were the things that people didn't see me going through. It was my silent struggles and my silent growth, because that was something that I was not brave enough to look into, or didn't even have the awareness to look into going into that year. And it wasn't until like July onwards that I was like, oh, hey, let's start to put these pieces together. And it wasn't a pleasant experience whatsoever. It was actually quite painful. And there was a lot of grief and unpleasant feelings. But doing that work and initiating that process, I'm going into this year with such a better understanding of what I need to thrive. And I'm so excited for what's to come. So that's what I am most proud of accomplishing. Anyone else want to share?
I can share. So what I'm most proud of accomplishing is at the beginning of last year, we did a major reorganization of Hammer Fitness, Lady the F Up, and Man the F Up. And I was promoted to operations manager where I oversee operations for all three brands. And that's not what I'm proud of. What I'm proud of is that the my workload went through the roof and the learning curve, and then instituting new procedures at work to make all of the coaches, like all of us that train in person, have to really level up to the point of like we're all wearing uniforms. We're like, we've revamped everything. We are a very professional, organized, dedicated team. And that's not just from me, but I was part of that. What I'm proud of is doing that, maintaining my client roster, being a mom, trying to be a partner. I probably fail at that the most because we don't live together and, the back and forth, but is that I made the decision that last year competing would not be good for me. And I love competing. And I was being told, you can, Deborah, you can do the 2 hours of cardio plus the working out plus all that. And I thought, no, I can't. I just can't, because I'm not going to do anything well. I just know myself. So I did speak to my coach, and he was like, okay, then in because I have a very large goal this year, we're competing next year and there's no putting it off. And I feel going into this year, like my mindset's totally like I'm focused. I was not focused last year. I was too like,
You were
this is a
focused on a
lot of,
lot of other things.
yeah, exactly. I wasn't focused on myself. In and that's a and honestly, competing is the most selfish,
Mhm,
self-absorbed thing
mhm.
you could ever do. You cannot be a good partner, a good mom, and a really good employee and a really good competitor. Like something has to give. So I just was not prepared to be at the bottom of the list for everything. So that's that might sound a little bit, it might fall flat on some ears, but if you know me, I like to set big goals, and I've never walked away from a challenge. I've never walked away from an athletic goal. And, oh well,
Yeah.
I'll do it this year at 60, and I'll kick the shit out of those women in the 60 and over category. You see, it's actually smarter because being 59, I would have had to compete with women that are younger. But now that I'm in the, I don't think they call it the senior citizen division, but they do call it like the grand masters. I get to be one of the younger competitors now.
So excited. I'm looking forward to it, and know that on behalf of the team of Hammer Fitness, we really appreciate you stepping up and taking on all of the responsibilities that you did last year, because coaching in itself is a full-time role. And then we add on management on top of that. It can be demanding, but you have done a wonderful job and we appreciate you.
Thank you.
Does anyone else want to share what they are proud of in 2024? Maybe prioritizing themselves. Oh, Mel. Hi, Mel. Okay, Mel typed it out. Oh no, I have a thing popping up in front of it. Mel, my biggest win in 2024 was doing crazy hikes, extreme 4x4, 200 feet canyoneering, ziplining, etc. Super adventurous, and took me out of my comfort zone, all in Utah. That sounds like an incredible trip. I would be right there. Put me in all the wilderness stuff. Fun fact about Deb, if you didn't know, she used to live the adventure racing life. Yeah, share a little bit more about that, because I was really impressed when I heard that.
Oh, thank you. I was the female always on a four-person team. You need to have at least one female on adventure racing. So we did 300-kilometer races where you're doing mountain biking, canoeing, and trekking, like you're a navigation. So it's usually like the one of the biggest ones I did was called Raid the North, and we're up in the northern Ontario and Quebec border. and you have checkpoints. I mean, you have 300 kilometers to go around. And I'll just tell you a quick funny story. So, you usually start off on foot with the navigation part, and then you're getting to your checkpoints. It's maybe a night you don't really sleep, like you'll do 2 hours because it's a race, it's a race to get going. So you're already sleep deprived. We get to a checkpoint, we get our bikes. So we're on our bikes, and I'm trying really hard with my Camelback to get it to work. And that's this thing that you wear on your back with a thing to suck to get water. And you got to keep hydrated. And all of a sudden, it's all falling down. Like the little nipple part has gone. So we all have to stop. I have to go pee, and I'm with three guys. So as I coming out of the woods, I somehow found the nipple part had fallen inside my shirt. So I'm yelling, guys, guys, I found my nipple. And you've never seen three males look more horrified in their life. They go, what? And I go, yeah, I found my nipple. It had fallen right down into my shirt. And they're like, what is she talking about? But anyways, I sustained a broken tailbone during that, and I dislocated. I did a subluxation on my shoulder because we fell down this thing while mountain biking. But I loved it, and never felt the broken tailbone because we were taking on so much cold water in because the waves and lake that I never felt it. It froze me from the waist down. But yeah,
You
it was
got an
fun.
experience and a memory for life. We got a couple other women who posted in the chat. And ladies, if you want to share what your win for 2024 is, you're welcome to type it out too if you can't take it off mute. iPhone. I don't know who iPhone is, but iPhone shared
Oh,
my biggest
yeah.
win is that I stayed consistent with my check-ins and with my coach and calmed my nervous system from a very unsettled place the year before. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Yes, she did. She really
Trish.
did. If it's the Trish that I think, is it my Trish?
I would believe so, yes.
Okay. Yes, okay, great. Yes,
Thanks,
she
Trish.
did. She did. Oh, here's a good one. Amanda, this is so nice of you to share. I can't use voice or video because I'm currently at work, but I am most proud of keeping our marriage together during our very difficult second year of parenting. Toddlers. Am I right? Yeah. There's the only thing that comes comparable to toddlers are 15-year-olds, 14-year-olds, but toddlers are scarier. As well as returning to my stressful job and trying to balance our new lives. Good for you.
I love it. So what I read through all of these is prioritizing growth and prioritizing mental well-being, because in order for us to be able to show up for all the people and the toddlers and the jobs that need us, we also have to take care of ourselves. So these are beautiful shares. Last call for this one before we move on to the next question. Okay, I will flip the slide. Hold on, technical difficulties.
Guys, one of the reasons why resolutions didn't work in the past, while Lexi's getting that together, I'll just tell you, is because they were often based on, and in present day too, wishful thinking, placing yourself in a moral situation higher, like higher morality, or wanting to become like new you. So when I say wishful thinking, oh, I wish I could lose weight, or the morality is I am going to stop gossiping, or I'm going to stop smoking, and then the other one is the new you is like the whole Tony Robbins, Mel Robbins thing, like you can turn your life around, you can be this, you can be that. So when we're reaching and looking at those resolutions, if we're not making them specific to what we really want to achieve, it's why they don't get achieved, because they are just wishful thinking, or we're placing too much of a moral um, emphasis on it, or thinking that we need to be better and newer when we don't.
Love it. Okay, got it working. So again, reflecting upon 2024, what challenge or challenges did I face? and how did I grow through them? So, what challenges did you face? How did you grow through them? My biggest challenge this past year was my grandmother was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer very, very early on. And this is the first family member that I am watching their health deteriorate in February, because she lives up in Muskoka and I live in Barrie. The cancer center for the hospital is here in Barrie. So in February, she stayed with me for the entire month and went through her radiation treatments. And this was the first time, because I live by myself with my partner who's super independent. We have 2 dogs. So like this was the first time that I had someone depending on me where I put their needs before my own. And it was really eye-opening. And the way that I grew from this was I'm able to be a lot more empathetic to the clients that have similar situations. So previously when they're like, oh, I'm taking care of parents, I was like, okay, like I can imagine that's tough, but like now I know when you are taking care of an elderly relative that is sick or they are losing their quality of life, not only is that time consuming, but that's incredibly mentally and emotionally draining. And she had her treatments in February, and we had her birthday in November, and then we had what will very likely be her last Christmas just this past week. And I dropped her off, and it's just, that is such a challenge to see someone that I love so much and loves me. And like she has 3 key people in her life, and I'm one of those, watching the life literally drain out of her month after month has been an incredibly challenging thing. But I'm so grateful for the time that we were able or are still able to spend together, and that memory and just being present with her and being like, yes, I've triaged all of the messages, and my clients that have urgent stuff I responded to. These ladies can wait until a little bit for me to send them form reviews or answer some of the questions that they have so I can be fully present, because these moments are limited. So that was my biggest challenge of the year. Oh, Jamie shared. Okay, we'll go back. Hopefully a little bit of a lighter note than that, because I know that's a bit of a lot of a downer. Jamie said, I am proud of taking the leap of joining Lady the F Up in the middle of the craziest season of my life. 1 month in joining, I began full renovation to relocate my business while working full time and coaching my kids baseball and to soccer. Tomorrow is 6 months and I haven't missed a day. Up and out at 5 a.m. every day. Kind of shocked you stayed committed. So proud of that. Amazing. We're proud of you too. And I can only imagine how hard it was to get started and how many challenging days there were where you're like, "Ah, 5 a.m., but I'm so tired and there's so much that has to be done." But that goes back to that momentum and building of the process and looking forward to taking care of yourself and how good you can feel if you keep that consistent. So well done, Jamie.
Lexi, I don't think that yours was a downer. I think yours was beautiful. I think mine's a downer, but yours was, I'll share mine, but yours is beautiful because watching my own daughters have a relationship with on their father's side, grandparents, they adore them. I know that it it would be very hard because they are very, very much involved in their lives. So I think that that's beautiful, and it's not a downer. Like it's going to be very sad, but it's not a downer. Um, Mine was I've been very open about this. Having gone through, childhood sexual abuse, having my father arrested, went through the whole trial, got him incarcerated. He's been incarcerated now for 17 years. My case was precedent setting, meaning that no one has ever received so much jail time. And it's because I had overwhelming evidence and I was, quite frankly, really good on the stand. I was 39 when I did this. I'm 60 now. So that's how long I've been dealing with this my whole life since I was 7. But this whole thing. So what I'm proud of is I've always shown up for every parole hearing. Um, I did it, but now he's been charged with other things that do not involve me. And my mother, we have a very complicated relationship, has never protected me. And even now at 60, I'm not being protected. That she was like, no, you have to show up. You have to do this for your brother. We need, and I was like, no, I'm not. I'm not showing up to any more parole hearings. I am not going to talk about this anymore. You are not going to bring this up. It's gone. It's like I did my part. Anything now that happens if my father gets arrested will have nothing to do with me anymore. I've done my part to society. And that was a huge thing. And I remember I even shared this with Amber. And Amber is not the most, what do you call it? Touchy-feely kind of guy. And he said, I am so proud of you. And I said, like, when is it going to end, guys? Like, when is it going to end? I've been doing it and working and trying to be normal, but going to parole hearings and talking about, you know, uh, childhood sexual abuse and protecting society, that's a downer. So that was left in 2024. And in 2025, this will be my first year in 25 years almost, because I started the process at 35, that I won't have to do this, which is really nice. So that's a downer. Yours wasn't a downer. Yours was beautiful.
You're growing through it, and being able to advocate for your needs is something that you can now carry forward. Like you said, no, I'm not competing, and nope, I'm not doing that anymore. Standing up for yourself rather than people
And,
pleasing for everyone else.
and I share this, ladies, because the statistics are 1 out of every 4 women will have had some form of sexual abuse, whether it's from somebody that they know or a stranger. So I share this because I work with a lot of women that carry a lot of shame, and I don't have any shame. And I'm going to be very open about it because it's not who I am. It's just what happened to me. So, so proud of you, Deborah. You did your part and now moving forward. Yes. And that's how I feel. I thought, you know what? I did my part. I don't need to be that person anymore talking about it all the time unless somebody wants to talk about it. But that was a huge shift and it felt really good. And you know something? It's nothing like fighting with your mother like a friggin' teenager when you're in you're in your 50s. I was screaming at her. It's like unbelievable, but I am really glad I stuck to my guns. And no, you shouldn't be yelling at 80-year-olds. I know that. However,
Does anyone else want to share? And if your challenges were too challenging, that's okay. But I just want you to think about, what challenges did you face? And through them, or despite them, how did you grow as a person? Because there has to be something in there. Could be a physical challenge, could be a mental challenge, could be an emotional challenge, could be a relationship challenge. So just reflect on that, think on it. If it doesn't come right away, sit on the question. These are reflections that you can carry for the rest of the year with you. The next one that I have, oh, wait, I think we got to share before I move on. Oh, too many buttons. Trish shared that she was challenged with extreme financial stress from her business creeping into her personal life. I grew through them, sorry, by no longer needing external validation from material things. I love it. Amazing. Thank you, Trish. All right. The next question that we have is, which habits or routines served me well, and which ones held me back? So if you were thinking of all the things that you wanted to accomplish in 2024, what habits or routines allowed you to move closer to that? And which ones kind of delayed the process there? So for me, yes, I am a coach, but I am also a normal human being, and I love Netflix. I love TV shows when my new series comes out. So what holds me back? One more episode, just one more, just one more, just one more. And then you're up until 2 o'clock in the morning, and then you get significantly less sleep, and then you feel like shit in the morning, but you still haven't finished the series. So when the workday is over and you're tired, just one more, just one more. And then you get this sense of accomplishment when you finish that series. Yep, yep. I feel like a lot of us can relate just because we're human. That is one thing that absolutely was a habit that held me back from being able to progress and achieve some of the things, because if I had a plan of getting up at 7:30 in the morning so I could have this wonderful slow morning routine, but I was staying up until 2 o'clock, sleep until 9. Poof, there goes the morning routine. Just get out of bed and start work. So that is something that I want to do less of. And the other thing that held me back was bringing this thing into the bedroom. My phone needs to stay out of the bedroom for two reasons. One, I will scroll on whatever short video content until, again, the wee hours of the morning, or in the morning, because this thing is, I have my Whoop thing, which is my alarm, and then this is my alarm. If my phone is in the bedroom when the alarm goes off, I hit snooze and then I go back to bed. Compared to if I charge my phone in this office, which is a, I don't know, 20-meter walk from my bedroom, and then all of a sudden I walk into this environment that I have designed to be productive and focused and like start your day, let's get shit done. I am a lot more productive. So those are my two, is one more episode and bringing the phone into the bedroom were things that absolutely held me back from things I wanted to accomplish and the best way for showing up to me.
But Lexi, I can't fall asleep unless I watch that one more show, or I can't fall asleep unless I'm on my phone playing Toon Time or little boxes or, Wordscape. Oh, I know. It's terrible.
Yep.
It's a really bad habit.
The nervous system cannot transition from stimulated to calm in 5 minutes. It just can't. Yeah, so something I'm going to be a little more mindful of. And I feel like a lot of people can relate. Trish shared. Trish, I love how open you are to this call. Thank you so much for continuing to share. Being a victim to my circumstances and allowing my emotions to drive me is probably the habit that held me back from the things that I wanted. Okay. So victim mindset, it sounds like you're starting to shift that. And I'm sure Deborah has worked with you one-on-one and has seen that shift as well. Yeah, the shoosh emojis coming up. Yeah, the fact that you're aware of it though, and it's something that you're like, oh, these are things, the victim mentality, it's holding me back, even if you still sometimes fall into that, that awareness is the first step to move forward.
She's very aware, and she's so open, and she's so cool because I'll say to her, "Okay, victim." And like she's like, "Yeah, so I am. So what?" And yeah, we have the best conversations. But with her, Trish, I find that when this happens, it might be like a step or two or five back, and then it's seven forward. But you are great, and you take me the way I need to be received, meaning that you do not see me as being mean and harsh and caustic. You see me as like, my caring comes out as passion. And sometimes that passion, that Italian passion, comes out a little too strong for some people. But I'm glad that Trish appreciates it.
Any other shares? Oh, we got Amanda popping in. I joined a book club with work friends, and now I read or listen to at least one novel a month. This served my mental health and social life well. Online shopping while on night shift, however, did not serve me or my finances. I can also relate to that one there, Amanda.
Yeah, it's called the dopamine hit.
Yeah.
What's on Sephora? Because Sephora's, I could buy something like just something small, you know?
Any other shares? We got Mel prioritizing work, not taking care of myself as I was pouring my energy into my job. I know a lot of people can relate to that. Us coaches as well sometimes, but we are getting better at that because we just love you guys so damn much that we want to pour our energy into you guys because you energize us as well. However, if that's not the case and you don't get that energy back, it can absolutely be draining. So reflecting upon that, okay, it held you back. What are you going to do a little differently this year? And Mel, coming back to Lady the F Up is absolutely a step in the right direction. One habit that served me well, spending lots and lots and lots of time outside. I am so fortunate and grateful to live like 5 minutes away from a forest. So I spend so much time with the dogs outside. Not in the summer though, because they wear winter coats all year round and they're super hot. And honestly, in July and August, I feel my mental health shift. Everyone's like, I love summer. I'm like, because for me, it's too hot. I burn like that. There has been skin cancer incidences in my family, and I'm just like, I don't like the summer season. Winter is actually my favorite, but spending time outside as much as I can, whether it's -30 with the wind chill or if it's raining, yeah, time outside really, really serves me well. Winter is my favorite too. Yeah, we got another winter lover. What about yourself, Deb?
Uh, habit was going to like I didn't start doing this till probably in the middle of the year and a little bit late, but going to bed earlier. Like I just have to do it. And you know what? I put my phone into auto shutdown now at 9:30 and my computer goes out of work mode and just shuts it down, like meaning that everything changes. And does it mean that I'm not working still? Yeah, sometimes I'm working, but I'm consciously trying not to answer clients after 9:30 at night so that I can wind down and get to bed. And when I say going to bed earlier, I should be in bed before 10 with the schedule that I keep. I've got myself to 11 p.m. And my goal this year is I'm working back 15 minutes.
Progress. That's it.
And my partner's going, bullshit. He goes to bed at 9:30. He's got the best habits out of anybody I know. Like doesn't do anything to the extreme, would never do one more Netflix. I'm the one, doesn't take his phone. But you know what? He goes to bed at 9:30, quarter to 10. And I'm always out still working or playing on my computer. So changing that.
What habits or routines served you in 2024?
The consistency of meal prepping and making sure that I get to the gym, like doing my cardio first thing in the morning, like so like prioritizing always my health and my nutrition because that's really important to me. I like to feel and look a certain way, whether I'm in a build where then I'm gaining or I'm in a cut. I need to be fully involved, engaged in that process. And those habits of like meal prep every Sunday and every Wednesday night. That's just the way it is. And my partner does that too. Like I spend half the week with him. He does it as well. And it's, I will never stop.
The habits that carry us forward for continual success. Whether you're weighing and tracking your food moving forward. I know a lot of people here want to intuitively eat as their end goal. Meal prep, still going to be the thing that you do with the intuitive eating. You're going to bulk prep your protein. You're going to buy
Mhm.
whatever you need to and get it ready for the week. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself back where you started, where you're like, ah, shit, I have no food prepped. Oh, look, drive through. Or, oh, look, convenient Uber Eats that can be delivered to wherever. Or, oh, I didn't prep breakfast and now the office has muffins and donuts. I'm just going to put that in my mouth. So, meal prep is a
Mhm.
habit I cannot recommend enough to absolutely everyone in here. Okay, we're getting short on time, so I'm going to skip over one question and we have two left here. So the next one is, oh, you guys are blocking me being able to read it. What lessons will I carry forward into 2025 to create an even better version of myself? So what lessons did you learn in 2024 that you're carrying over? Or it could be lessons that you learned multiple years ago that maybe you didn't apply in 2024, or maybe you did and you just want to continue with those. So mine and my biggest one, and again, this comes with the first one where I was really proud of diving into my mental and my emotional health and learning more about my system. My biggest lesson that I am carrying forward is that I am more than my accomplishments. As someone who grew up a straight A student and was a national trampoline gymnast and had this pressure to be perfect all the time, my validation was I need to be able to achieve things so other people love me. And that is not the case anymore. I do not need to sacrifice my own needs and my desire to thrive to make other people happy. Or the biggest thing that I learned, and this was something I learned in 2023 that I started to carry over last year, but it didn't really sink in until the second half, is a lot of people support me when I vocalize, I'm going to do this thing, or I want to do this thing, or I accomplish this thing, because they just want to support me. It's not the fact that I did the thing or I want to do the thing. They just want to support me as a human being. So that is my biggest lesson, is just to, yeah, not have to achieve things to be loved or to love myself. Thanks, Trish. Amanda said her lesson that she's carrying with her is it's never too late to try or start again. I love that.
So mine is I finally let go of single mother guilt. My daughters are 31 and 34, married in their own homes. Um, and I was always, Mom, I need you. Drop everything, run. Why? Because I feel so guilty that I didn't have them grow up with a dad. I mean, it wasn't my choice. He moved to California, but I felt so guilty. Like you you had to go through a divorce, you had to be bi-coastal, you only saw your dad once a year. And I realized I carried a lot of guilt, and I was really worried that they wouldn't love me the way, I don't really have a great relationship with my mother. And I realized I protected them. I kept them safe. They both have amazing careers. They're highly educated. They have beautiful lives and homes. I can stop feeling guilty. And so now I'm like, guys, no, sorry, I can't do that. Mondays don't work. I have a meeting. Tuesdays might not be good, but maybe we could try for Thursday. Whereas I never would have done that. I would have turned myself inside out for them. And to be honest, like I don't mean to make them sound like brats. They didn't even notice. Like, they don't even notice that. So it was me putting that stupid pressure on myself and carrying that guilt. So no more.
More prioritizing yourself and your needs, which I love. Um, Samantha said, listening to my body, and if I am injured, take the time to heal. Yes, 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 yes.
Yes.
Pushing through is just delaying recovery. It's potentially making the injury worse. I've had many injuries. I actually herniated my disc 2 weeks before the CN Tower climb last year, re-herniated it. And that was a pain in the ass that I pushed through because I was like, I'm doing the CN Tower climb. So I trained for 2 weeks where it probably would have been like a small little bulge, but the 2 weeks of me pushing and then doing the climb made it significantly worse, so that all of April, May, and June, I couldn't do any sort of hinging exercises and I was in pain because I did not listen to that lesson. And I know that, and I speak that to other people, but I was driven by that accomplishment of I'm going to go do the CN Tower climb and I'm going to sacrifice everything in me to try and beat my previous time, which I did not do. Another lesson I learned, and Deb, you probably already know this lesson, the more body fat you have, the harder cardio is. Because I went into the CN Tower climb training harder than I had trained the previous year, but I was 30 pounds heavier because I was also in a build, and that it just didn't mesh. So I'm still proud that I did the CN Tower climb, but that is an incredible lesson, Sam. Yeah, if you are injured, take the time to heal. There's almost always something that we can do to train around the injury. So it's not, oh, I'm injured, I'm not going to do anything, but it's don't bother the area that's in pain.
Can we just share that Samantha never used to drink water either, and to the point where she was not drinking water, it's bloody 33 degrees Celsius outside in the summer, and she's going to hot yoga and she's doing cardio because I've got her in a cut, and she tells me, I think I'm having a heart attack. I'm having heart palpitations. No, you're dehydrated. So as I always do, I tell her, I'm just going to beat the shit out of you if you don't drink your water. So now she drinks her water. She drinks her water. And guess what happened, guys? When after all this time, her body dropped 5 pounds and she's never put 1 pound back. And this little tiny thing eats close to 2,300 calories a day at 53. And we started at 900 calories.
It's
Like when she came.
possible.
So, but it was the water. It was the last piece. So if you're wondering if anything's holding you back in your own personal fitness journey, are you drinking your water and getting your sleep?
Those are two very important things. Trish shared her lesson is I am worthy simply because I am, not when I look a certain way or have certain success, etc., and that I am the only person who can make shit happen for myself. Yes, love it. I resonate with that a lot. But the fact that, because you mentioned that victim mindset was there, I'm the person that can make shit happen. That is stepping into that growth mindset. And once you're in a growth mindset, you don't go back. You have this like new level unlocked in your brain. And there may be tendencies of wanting to go back to where you were and blaming other people and circumstances. But once you realize that you can accept responsibility for things, and when you step into that responsibility and take action, shit happens. You're like, oh, if this is what I can do just with this little bit, what else can you do? And it's just like it builds upon it and it's super exciting. Linda said, I don't need to shrink myself to make others feel comfortable. Also, this is still a work in progress for me, but it's okay to take time for myself. Yes, you are worthy of your own time. And yeah, don't shrink. Take up space. Take up space in the gym. Take up space in the workplace. Take up space in your life. You don't need to shrink. That is a beautiful lesson, Linda. Janet said her lesson is letting go of the guilt of putting myself first and prioritizing my health in 2025. There's no reason to feel guilty for it. If anything, you will start to learn as you get more into it and the consistency builds and you have more time that you are not going to be guilty because you're showing up for everything else with this new level of drive and consistency, because what you do in one aspect of your life applies to all other aspects as well. So if you ever feel that guilt creep back in, Janet, or anyone listening to this, because that's a very normal thing of like, oh no, but I should be doing, or I could be doing, and other people, just remind yourself that you are worth it. And everyone here kind of has a similar theme. And that's why you're part of Lady the F Up. And I have chills right now. I would show you, but I am freezing. But yeah, all of these give me chills. I love it. Does anyone else have shares?
With letting go of the guilt of putting yourself first, as somebody who raised children and never thought twice about putting them in daycare while I did my own workouts at the gyms that I worked in, I can tell you that I didn't even realize what a great role model I was, showing, especially raising girls, that prioritizing your health and yourself, like, did they complain? Why do you have to go to the gym? I go, because I do. Like, I don't date, I don't go out to clubs, I don't do it, but I go to the gym. So I don't know who here, I know some of you have children, some of you, I don't know the circumstances of other people, but if you are a mom and you're worried about that, it's really important that you keep showing up for yourself as a woman especially if you have children, and double, especially if you have females, because it's very easy for women to put themselves last. It's too easy. And we're applauded for that. You know, don't take a page out of my book. I was just too young and stupid to know that I was doing a good thing. I was very selfish. I just needed my workouts.
On the topic of being a good mom, Sharon shared that something that she's proud of is achieving between 8 and 10,000 steps per day while including her 14-month-old son. So already building those healthy habits and foundations and leading by example that we move our bodies together. And as he gets bigger, I'm sure you'll be doing some workouts together, Sharon. Janet resonates with what you said, Deb. Amanda resonates. All right, I have one more question. And this one, okay, before I do, going back to the water thing, Deb, there's this really catchy song that gets stuck in my head that I share with clients, and I'm going to share it with all of you guys right now. It's called DYWB, AKA Drink Your Water, Bitch. And it's just, hold on.
Drink your water, bitch. Drink your water, bitch. Drink your water.
Drink your water, bitch. Anyways,
Drink your
it's just the first little bit, but it gets stuck in your head to remind you to drink your water. So if you want to add that to your playlist. Yeah. And then the last one that I have here is, oh, it didn't work. Disappear. There we go. What mantra or word do you have for 2025? What is your word? I like picking one word because it's a lot easier to remember than a mantra. And like mantras and manifestation of like, I am worthy, I am capable, those are great, but sometimes we don't feel them. My word for this year is notice. So my word, notice, means notice how I'm feeling, notice sensations, be present, notice the environment. So when I'm walking my dogs, like today, the word notice came into my head, and it comes into my head multiple times a day because it's fresh in my brain. And the more that you practice repeating your word to yourself, the stronger that will be. But when I was walking my dogs, it was just notice the wind blowing through the trees. Stop for a second, take a breath, and be like, wow, there's so much going on outside of what we have going on in here. And so much of the time we're consumed by this that we don't notice anything else going on. So my word is notice. Oh, we got so many words coming in. I love that those came to you really quickly, ladies. Trish said thrive. Janet said confidence. Samantha said resilience. Users iPhone said strong. Mel said balance. Louisa, welcome. Okay, Louisa said balance. She is learning. She's on day 4, day 5 of our journey together. I love that you joined. And then Trish also said, do not choose the word surrender. You'll have many lessons to practice surrendering. So yeah, surrender is a victim word somewhat. The fact that you chose thrive in all capital letters in that chat, it's what I like to hear. Does anyone else want to share what their word is? Words, role model. I love it, Amanda. That is absolutely something. So just remind yourself of this. When you are having a tough day, when you're having a challenging day, when things are going crazy, when you are go, 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 and the world seems like there's so much piling on top of yourself, repeat that word to yourself. Write it down. If you are someone that journals, add that to it every single day. Put it on a sticky note that you're going to see every single day, but pick something that resonates with you. And as we can see just through these words coming through, different words resonate with different people. I asked some of my own clients about this. I got believe, I got slow down, I got panic slowly. So there's a couple different things out there, and it's all based on what you want to carry forward for the next 300 and whatever the math is of 365 minus 9. 354 days. There we go. 356.
Mine is focus.
Focus.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I have a lot of things that I really want to accomplish this year. So I have to really focus my energy and my time and my everything. I have to focus in.
And one mantra that I'll close it out with, unless anyone else wants to type some stuff out in the chat, this is your final call. But the one mantra that we can all share is lady the fuck up. Remember that lady the fuck up means it's not just push yourself and like punish yourself. That's not what it means. It is make yourself a priority, take up space, choose to be more, eat your damn protein, meal prep, put yourself first. There's so many little things under lady the fuck up. But if you're like, I don't really know what mine is, that can be a placeholder until you potentially find something that resonates stronger with you. And that is about it. So we've come to our hour. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. I really appreciate all of the shares. So as you know, today's Thursday. Moving forward for 2025, as of the next couple of months at least, these calls will be on Thursdays. And next Thursday, we have Coach Mel and one of her Lady of the F-Up clients that will be joining us to discuss their journey together. Thank you all for being here. If you made it to the end of the replay, thank you for watching this. If you want to comment below with what your word or any of your answers to the questions are, we would love to read them afterwards as well. Sending you much love and all the best for 2025. Let's make this a year to remember. Bye, ladies.